Rev up your engines!
Well, the Biden administration is beginning a $3 billion plan for electric car batteries. Now, why is the government getting involved in this crap? That's all I gotta say. They're getting involved in $3 billion. Okay, let's look at the facts. Last time I checked, Tesla was worth over $1 trillion, right? Why don't they put their money into it, you know? People have been putting a lot of research into electric battery stuff, right? Nobody knows where it's going to come up. It seems every day I'm reading, new battery, cars could go 1,000 miles. And they'll say, well, we did it in the laboratory with a little car that was this big, and we're going to figure out how to make it bigger so it works, just like solid state batteries. You can get small ones. I guess they got them for pacemakers and stuff. But there's a big difference between, one 1,000th of an amp pacemaker and a car that's running on 400 volts and 50 amps. No, a completely different world, and they still haven't figured it out yet. It costs a reasonable amount of money, doesn't pollute the earth, and lasts without getting dendrites that short the internal parts of it out. It may never happen. Who knows? I couldn't help but laugh the other day when I saw Nissan had a deal going with NASA, the space guys, right? We're going to have solid-state cars by 2030. Yeah, how do they know what's going to come out? They have no idea. This is all talking through the hat. It's a bunch of nonsense. Well, now the government's getting involved in throwing money. We all know what happens when they throw money in. Generally wasted. I was looking at a thing the other day. Guy was talking about solar power, right? And the guy said, every time I go through the Nevada desert, I see all these giant mirrors going up. Well, they spent $1 billion on this giant thing, and it didn't work. It created electricity, but it cost more money to operate than you got electricity back because it was so expensive to build it. If they can't make solar mirrors work in the Nevada desert where it's sunny as can be, good luck running it in Buffalo or Minneapolis, or in Boston. It's cloudy a lot around here, Here we got the government throwing money into stuff they know nothing about, jumping on the old bandwagon. Here they come, of course. Who jumps on bandwagons? Politicians. The original bandwagon probably had a politician on the front with a megaphone. Vote for me, join my bandwagon. This stuff is too much for me. They get involved in stuff they don't even understand. They just get tied up into stuff, and then they think, oh, that's great, let's throw some more money at that. It's almost always wasted. Down the street from here, outside of Fall River, Massachusetts, there's a giant windmill. And the last I heard, I asked the ex-chief of police. I said, what's the story of that windmill? It doesn't do anything. It just sits there. It's never running. There's one here at Portsmouth. It runs all the time. But the one that's a few miles away never runs. He said, well, like 15 years ago, the stupid thing broke. Canadian company built it and they went to get parts. Well, the company's bankrupt. They can't get parts. So it's sitting there rotting for 15 years. They don't power that many houses anyways, but it just shows you. Whenever government gets involved in stuff, the money's thrown around. Then when it's screwed up, oh, well, now there's an albatross sitting there outside of Fall River, never blowing, just sitting there. You see, I wonder why that thing isn't spinning, making electricity. Well, because it's been broken for over 15 years. If you've been watching me any period of time, I'm not a big VW fan. Well, they just recalled a whole bunch of Volkswagen Tauruses and Tiguans, the SUVs, because they might not have built the rear suspension, and the parts might crack and break, and your car might crash. Now, of course, it's not really a laughing matter. It is for me, because I tell people don't buy Volkswagens. I laugh at how poorly they're made. But if you didn't listen to my laughter and bought one, well, unfortunately, the joke is on you. This is for 2022 Tiguans and Taos SUVs, and the long bed version, the 2021 Tiguan. Now, it's a smaller recall. There's only a little over 10,000 recalls, but if you're one of those 10,000 people that your rear steering knuckle breaks and falls off and the wheels go and you get in a crash and it died, you're going to wish that you never bought a Volkswagen in the first place. Their lack of quality, as far as I'm concerned, really started when they started making those Volkswagen Rabbits. They were making some of them in a factory in Pennsylvania, which they later shut down because the quality control was so crappy. And now, they make them all over the world. And obviously, the quality of Volkswagens isn't what it used to be. So I tell people not to buy them. Well, the auto thieves are trying to get one up on the business. Now they're targeting the auto manufacturer's own stock. Why steal it from a private individual? Steal it from the corporation. And that's what they're doing. They're going to where they have all the built cars in the pen, just like at the stockyards where their cows are waiting for slaughter, the vehicles are waiting to be sold, and they're stealing them out of those pens. What they do is they get into the lots, they find where the keys are stored, they take the car, They smash the locks on the gates and they drive away with them. Just like old-time cattle rustling, only they're doing with cars and electronics. Recently, these thieves targeted 3 of these gigantic gated storage lots outside of Detroit. And mainly they were stealing trucks, because of course trucks are real popular. They're easy to sell too. This was happening around Sterling Heights in Michigan. Interesting enough, they're mainly Stellantis vehicles that are being stolen. New Ram trucks, Jeep Wagoneers, and a Jeep Trackhawk. And the Ram TRX, one of them was worth over $100,000. People are always thinking a way to steal things. Why not go to the source of it, which is what they're obviously doing. And here's the hilarious thing. They got all those cars there, right? It turns out that not even had permanent security guards there because they were too cheap to pay permanent security guards to guard all these vehicles. And somebody found out, hey, there's no security guards there. Let's steal the stuff. Now, come on. You're cutting jobs of state money. You got millions of dollars of stuff that are on wheels. Easy to steal. They're on wheels, right? And they wouldn't even pay permanent security guards to watch it. Maybe they'll be changing their tune after this one. We just won't have any workers at all. Look at the money we're saving. Yeah, not if somebody comes and steals all your cars. Says, I got sticky power steering on 2015 RAV4. Feels like it's sticking when the AC is on. This occurs more in warmer weather where the AC is on or off. Doesn't seem to be an issue when it's cold. Not sure if it's a loose belt. Power steering fluid is normal fill. 96,000 miles, mostly highway. All right. Now, I don't know if you gave me some wrong information. 2015 RAV4s, all the ones I've ever seen, have electronic power steering. They don't have a power steering reservoir. They don't have hydraulic steering. They have electronic. Now, maybe you gave me the wrong number. I'm assuming you don't. And if you don't, you got a problem in the electronic power steering. Those are very complex. Sometimes the control modules on those go bad on that particular year model. They even had a little recall for some. See if there's a recall. Now, if you do have hydraulic power steering on a 2015 RAV4, maybe you gave me the wrong year, and it's binding, watch my video, Fixing Binding Power Steering. Now, that only goes if you got hydraulic steering, because it won't do anything to electronic. But you can flush the system out and it will stop to bind if you have hydraulic. But all the ones I've seen, those have electronic. And if you do, see if Toyota has a recall for it, because some of them were and they got to replace the control module. The circuitry went bad and then the power steering will bind like that. Camaro Man says, Scotty, I want to buy a 1976 Cutlass Supreme. Anything I should look to? I'm excited to pick it up and make it a nice toy. Well, I like your idea. Toy, not an everyday driver. Those were decent vehicles. Back in the 70s, GM made decent cars, right? Do understand, though, it's what? 46 years old? That's an old car, man. That is old. All the rubber's going to be rotten. The wiring might be cracked. You want to make a toy out of it? Hey, all I got to say is it depends on what you pay. First, if you're paying, a reasonable amount, road test it. Make sure that it shifts and it runs, doesn't leak fluid all over the place. Take it on a 15, 20-minute drive, see what goes on with it. Just to understand, with the age of that, all the rubber, unless it's been replaced, is going to have to be replaced. Now, it is a GM from the 70s. You can still get all kinds of parts for them. It's not like you can't get parts. You can probably walk into an AutoZone and get a starter for it right off the rack. They probably got one sitting there. But that all, realize you're going to have to do a lot of stuff over. And if it's a toy that you're actually going to drive and not just look at, some guys fix them up, take them to car shows, never actually drive them. But if you can actually drive it, first thing, go through the whole brake system, replace all the rotten rubber parts, master cylinders, slide cylinders, calipers if it's got disc brakes on the front. You want to put calipers on it. You can get all that stuff at AutoZone cheaply enough. Anything that has rubber in the brake system, I'd replace it just for safety's sake. You want it to stop. It's a heavy vehicle. They weigh a lot. You want to make sure the brakes work for sure. Devin82M says, what's the name brand of cheapest off-brand part? I have a 2008 Toyota Tundra. It needs oxygen pump. I can spend over $400 per pump from Denso or $175 from Dorman. What do you suggest? Deciding on aftermarket parts can also be a real stinker. You never know what the quality is, what they're made, but buy the Dorman. I've been buying Dorman parts for decades. It's an excellent company. They've been doing aftermarket stuff for ages. They have excellent guarantees, and I've had no problems with them. They also have excellent warranties. You can usually get the parts at any discount auto parts stores like AutoZone, Riley, whatever, and they have good warranties too, so you don't have to worry about it. I would buy the Dorman. Dorman is a good one. Now, if it's something you don't even have a name on, I'd never buy something like that. I actually knew people who worked at Dorman, and they said, hey, they get some pretty good engineers because they replace the parts that break all the time. Those break all the time. That's why they make them. Right? If they didn't break, Dorman wouldn't make them because they would have to go through the process of designing and making them, and then not selling any hardly at all because they rarely break. Those break. Sometimes they actually redesign them better than the original one. So Dorman is a very good choice on that. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.